pushes nothing but wickedness. But what they're all stuck thinking like, yo, yeah, I want to be in that, man. This is the only way, man. Where you gonna, you're gonna jump on Tinder. It's gonna be like, all you, or and you might fuck some done out hoes, and then they're thinking like they're fucking killing the game. But then it's a whole mess, man. You're gonna be getting a girl that's been passed through like 20, 30, 50 other men, all kinds of shit, and then you're thinking you've got something special, man. You're gonna be working and grinding away, just so you can try and make it so your kids can make a little more money than you did, and you ain't even gonna build up anything but like debts to pass on to your kids, man. You're gonna be working your whole life. You're gonna be 60 or some shit. Let's say you get injured, you get ill, you get whatever. You're fucked. You ain't got nothing. It's when you go to the forefathers. They had wealth in land, in animals, in precious metals. They had it in actual measurable things that you could pass on. Things that even if you you were to be injured or whatever, you're still gonna have the land there. You're still gonna be able to be like, okay, look, you go hire someone to work the land, and you can still make money and survive. Here it's nothing. You're gonna have a 25-year mortgage to have a house that ain't even gonna be yours. And it's like, before, if you ain't in that whole 25 years, you miss a payment, you could just lose the whole fucking house. You could have been on the 24th month, then you lose your job, and like in the last year they're just like, oh no, you're gonna now we're taking it, and then you're through. What kind of, this place is a madness, man. You're gonna be both, and now it's they got the woman working as well. So you and the woman gonna have a kid. Then you're both gonna have to go to work, and you ain't even getting to raise your kids, man. Your son could grow up to be a flamer, because all these growing up seeing and interacting with is this whole society, man, and whatever they decide to push out in schools, where they got transgenders, talking to kids for whatever reason. I don't even know what the purpose of that's meant to be, like. But then that's being pushed as part of the curriculum. And then what? Any kind of madness that you see on TV, man, where all forms of wickedness are basically being pushed on in the media, man. And when you're a kid, you ain't even know like what the fuck's going on, man. So you look at some of the programs, like back in the day, it was a thing where they're saying like, oh, violence, whatever. But then it's just like, that's just some shit that happens, man. Esau is the violent anyway. Esau's the one going around the whole earth, bombing and conquering people, and that's his legacy. So I don't know why all of a sudden now violence is such a thing. But then now it's all kinds of homosexuality, all kinds of madness. I can't remember what cartoon it was, but they did like animation. I think I saw it on like YouTube, where it was like they was showing like, oh, sometimes it was with like boys that were like 6 years old or 7. I don't know. They were like ridiculously young, and then they were explaining. Oh, I think it was maybe. Oh, I can't remember, man. But they're saying like, oh, boys can like boys and girls can like girls. I was just like, hold on, why is this being pushed out onto children? This, it don't make no sense. And you consider as well is with all them LGBTs, they're basically only what, like less than 5% of like the whole of people on the face of the earth, all of them combined. I'm like, so why is this such an agenda? But it's why it's all about the elites, man, pushing that chaos, pushing that madness, and basically, building up the wickedness, building up, the confusion on the face of the planet Earth, man. And it makes people easier to mold, man, easier to kind of get them to adopt, ways of thinking that you want. Because everyone just kind of adopts an identity, and then they're completely invested, man. They're gonna ride out for it, man. That's why them jakes that become them Egyptologists, or them jakes that get into witchcraft, they'll get into it and they'll just be lost. They'll be like, yeah, they'll get the hank. They'll start, going in super hard, trying to tell everyone like, yeah, who's Egyptians, blah blah blah. But then it's just like, hold on, that's something that was pushed on you, man. That really ain't yours. Let me read this. Job 8 and 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. Yeah, so you basically got to go and research and look into and find out, your origins, man. Which is, if you're an Israelite, then you got to come back to the script, come to the scriptures, come to the truth. Because otherwise, you're not gonna. How are you gonna be able to build yourself up, man? You're gonna be trying to do things out here. It's not gonna be working. You're not gonna know why. Curses are against you, working mercilessly, and then you're all thinking it's one system applies, but actually you're Israelite. You got curses on you. Got all kinds of shit, man. It's like Jake trying to be like, oh, why is it we kind of we in these ghettos, man? How come we can't do this? How come our women are hoes and all this? It's why it's them curses, man. Coming against Jake, man. But they don't know. They're ignorant, man. Let me finish this. So back in Sirach 13 and 22, it says, "The rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely and could have no place." Yeah, so that's why it's like, I'm gonna read it as well. The Lord basically chose, the weak things. He chose basically men that weren't esteemed, man. He didn't decide to come and be like, okay, we're gonna take. He's gonna come and take men that are like, adored or respected in the society in a worldly sense. Like, he could have just. He weren't looking for men like Jay-Z's or Dr. Dre's, which that guy's toast as well. Who else? Like athletes like LeBron James, all that kind of. He weren't taking them, man. He was basically taking men that were on the bottom, that were not esteemed in society, and then raising them up and using them to deliver his message, which is something people always. That's why. Faith comes in. That's why basically the Lord allowing the Spirit to, to reveal things to you comes in, because it's basically made to be like a bit outlandish, man. Like when you deal with like the carnal understanding of things, you're gonna be thinking like, oh, okay, like, oh well, this guy's got money, he's got land, he's got this. You would think like, oh yeah, he must be smart to get that, but then not necessarily, man. Okay, let me get one more, because I just thought of another precept that was good. We go to that. Okay. Okay, yeah. So Ecclesiastes 2 and 18. It says, "Yea, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I could leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity." Yeah, so it's like with all your laboring that you're doing, all the building up that you're doing, you're basically gonna leave it all to your descendants. Which you leave it to your son. That guy, if he's the Lord that hasn't imparted him wisdom, then it's not gonna work out for him, man. He's gonna squander it, man. And that's something I think, funny enough, there was a statistic, I think it's in America, where they said like most new millionaires, by like 2 generations later, so like grandchildren, they've like all the wealth's gone. Why? Because they didn't have to, labor, strive, build themselves up to get that wealth. They just got it, and then it's like if they're not basically taught and built up to be worthy of it, then it's not going to work any it's not going to be beneficial to them, and they're just going to, it's essentially going to be wasted. That's kind of funny as hell, man. Because that's why it's hey, it's that's another angle of where Jacob kind of gone, man. Because them curses, it's made it so the father who's meant to be the head of the house, he's meant to be the one who kind of, you know, you build up your sons. You know, you've got the epidemic of like single mothers, where it's like the women are on a madness, so it's like the fathers don't hang around. Then it's, you know, you got men being raised by women, man, which just produces confusion. Okay, let me finish Sirach 13. So it says, verse 23, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if a poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? Yeah, so it's like them rich men speak, you go to them like them TED Talks, or if you search anything like, anything Bill Gates says, anything like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, these guys that are like, put up as the most, you know, the wealthiest men on the planet, Warren Buffett. It's like, bro, people have got like a million fucking Warren Buffett quotes, like, oh, where he says da da da. You know, he's like the greatest investor, blah blah blah. But then it's you know, them like that wealth. It's really, it come down to the Lord, man. The Lord will just is just set up different states, man. You got certain men where they'll be better off, and then certain men that will be worse off. And it is what it is, man. Some, you know, some men will kind of work for their wealth. Other men will just be set up, man. It's like even DJ Trump, man, himself. He was just set up. A lot of these guys that have money, they're just inherited, man. They come from families. It's like even with the elites, them guys, they know how that inheritance works, which is why they keep the wealth within the family, and they have you know, family members set up, man. That's why you have the rebellious ones, like Kate, for example. They'll just be disinherited. They'll just be cut off. It's you know, they basically have shit in order. But hey, curses on Jake, man. That's something this gone. It says what? So what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if a poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow it. Yeah, that's it. So it's like Jake on the bottom. Now it's like it's you know, there's a few exceptions, which are like, you know, so-called superstars, like you know, that make millions or whatever. They've got their little deals. They've made their deals. They've got their little piece you know, crumbs on the table, so to speak, in Babylon. Them guys, they might be able to you know, deal with things on a certain level, but then by and large, the average Jake, they're just being looked down on, man. They'll be like, you know, you're walking on the street at night, someone sees the Jakes there, they'll just be like, okay, they might start walking quickly, they'll cross the road. They'll, you know, people ain't looking to fuck with Jake. Which, hey, that's what Jake don't realize, man. Like, people out here ain't really liking you, and Esau is essentially, it's because he's got the position of power, because he's got you know, he's got the rule, he's got the money, and all these different things. These things are basically allow him to are the reason why shit's he's got shit a certain way. But that's all set up for the Lord, because this is their place. But then for us, hey, it's a punishment. And it's a thing where it's like, it's a punishment, and it's where it's things are gonna, like, essentially for us, what we need to be worrying about is salvation, man. If you're an Israelite, that's the thing you're meant to be focused on. You ain't really out here to be making money, to be living good, to be trying to get, you know, 25 different wives, all this shit. You're basically meant to be, you know, putting in the work for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know, prophesying at the end, and you know, chanting this place down, man, chanting down Babylon. But hey, that's where if you don't know, you don't know what times it is. You can't measure the times. You know, you can't discern. You don't know who you are. You think you're just some nigger. Then it's you're gonna be taken unawares, man. And that's hey two thirds of Jacob got to be taken unawares, man. That's just how it be. So First Corinthians 1. 25 says, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. Yeah. So it's the foolish, like it says, the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than the men. It's like us, the carnal flesh. You're not on any kind of level, man. It says in was it Isaiah 45, I believe it is. It's like my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. The Lord's on a different plane, man. We're just men, we're just worms, we're just hair in the flesh. If you're thinking you're just gonna be able to, okay, no, I'm just gonna be able to do. You're just gonna be so super. You're gonna be able to do something. Jacob been in great estates in the past, man, and still ain't been. Have basically been. Hey, the Lord is the one that runs it, man. The Lord, gives you the instruction. The Lord's in control. You're just along for the ride. So it's like with Jake anyway. With the previous generations were greater, man. Every generation that's coming after, we got weaker, man, with time. So it's like even the greater men back then weren't able to do what you think. Oh yeah, you're just gonna. No, I'm just gonna. Yeah, but I'm all that. Jake can talk all the smack, but hey, when it goes down, it's gonna be seen, man. And 2/3 are gonna have they're gonna get blown over, man. And if they do, they're essentially gonna run to Esau, man, because their investment is in this system, man, in this place. So it says not many wise, not many men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble. Yeah, because them men are wise in the worldly sense, or no, they might have some form of status, or they might come from money or whatever. They're gonna have all them that pride that they're carrying about with themselves, and bring it into the word, man. Where you're meant to be humbling yourself. You're gonna have to come in. You're gonna have to be under someone, and then that's something that a lot of Jake don't want to do. And then that's the kind of when the spirit will come on them to just be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go and do my own thing. And you have Jakes that will just be, they'll come into the word, abide for a bit, and then just get rebellious as hell. Come out with some fishy doctrines, all kinds of shit, man. Where they're just, and then Esau will come and offer them the suit, the briefcase. The briefcase will come out, and then they'll switch up, man. That's why humility is a core tenet. It says, but the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Yeah, the foolish things to confound the wise, weak things to confound the mighty. Yeah, that's the Lord can basically set up a guy from who seems he'll be young, ain't got no education, ain't got no money, might have come from don't even know who their parents are, could be an orphan, all kinds of shit. Whatever circumstances there are, the Lord can basically have them go up and be on a level where they'll be, confounding, scholars and wizards, people in power, all this shit, man. Guys will be getting confounded. Why? Because it's about the spirit, man. These are spiritual matters, man. And the Lord can have it. It says what? There's that spirit that quickeneth, man. Lord will have it where it will just have your mind get up on levels, man. Through the word, man, all through the word. It says, and the base things of the world and things which are despised have the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. Yeah, so things that are despised, because hey, Jake is despised out here, man. Jake is looked down on. Jake is dealt is basically, well, that's like Hosea chapter 1, because in Hosea, like it says, you know, wherein the land wherein Jake is called, you know, you're not basically you're no people. There's where we're going to be called Israel again, man. Hosea 1:9, it says, "Then said the Most High, call his name Eloah me, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power." Yeah, so this is, as now you got people going around calling themselves Jews or Israelis. It's going to be revealed who the true people are, man. Because like I said, you know, in the scripture it says, well, a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. And it says, you know, those which say they are Jews but and are not. So it's going to be revealed who you know, the true Israelites are. Because that's something that, hey, that's something key. Because who do the prophecies apply to, man? Thing is, you know, we're clearly in the end times, where Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he's basically getting ready to visit this place, man. Send his son to put this place on smash and basically set up the kingdom of heaven. So it's a core part of that is knowing who are the 12 tribes, man. Who's gonna get what do you call it? You know, who's gonna get the kingdom? What was I looking for? First Corinthians 1. Hello, mate.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all good.
What are you doing, please?
Just recording a video for work.
For work?
Yeah.
Are you getting paid for that?
Yeah.
Right. You can't do any filming round here unless you've got a license.
Okay.
Okay, and basically you need to get permission from the Royal Parks because it's quite a sensitive area. Yeah, you can't do any filming around here, I'm afraid.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So just as long as you can pack it up.
Does it apply in the park as well?
Yeah, it's in the Royal Park. This is counted as a Royal Park, so it's got its own bylaws.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And because it's so sensitive, as I say, you've got Buckingham Palace over there, and Bonnie Prince Charlie lives over there. Yeah, when he comes to London, so you can't film around here, I'm afraid. All right. Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Cool. Yeah, I'll close it up still. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, Shalom.